Have you ever been in an argument where the other person grows louder, harsher, almost desperate, and you just stood there in silence, not because you were weak, but because you didn't yet know the words that would turn the tide? I once witnessed this in a meeting. A colleague was cornered by his boss, accused, shouted at, nearly crushed under the weight of authority. Everyone thought he would be destroyed. But then, calmly, he looked straight at his boss and said, "I don't need to raise my voice to be right." The entire room froze. Silence fell. And in that silence, respect was born. That is the essence of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." People may shout, lie, manipulate, but if you master your response, you control the battle. And today, I'll reveal 5 powerful responses that don't humiliate others, but protect your dignity, place you in command, and make anyone fall silent. Stay until the end, because once you learn these, you'll never argue the same way again. I'm Jason, and this is the Stoic Habit. If wisdom and inner strength speak to you, consider subscribing, so you don't just watch Stoicism, you live it. Part 1. I don't need to raise my voice to be right. In today's world, too many people confuse volume with strength. They believe that the louder they shout, the more authority they command. But the truth is simple. The louder someone yells, the more they expose their own insecurity. Epictetus once warned, "The one who cannot control his tongue becomes a slave to his emotions." Think about that. A person who screams to prove they are right has already lost. Not to you, but to themselves. Picture this. You are sitting at the dinner table with your family. The conversation turns heated, and suddenly a relative raises their voice, not to discuss, but to dominate. Most people would meet fire with fire. The room would erupt into chaos. But imagine instead that you remain calm. You look at them with steady eyes and say, "I don't need to raise my voice to be right." At that moment, everything shifts. The air changes. The storm loses its power. Because true strength is never loud. It is silent. It is controlled. History itself proves this lesson. Take Mahatma Gandhi. He never shouted. He never commanded with aggression. And yet his quiet words shook an empire, and his calm defiance moved millions. His strength was not in volume, but in discipline, clarity, and conviction. This is the Stoic way. Control yourself, and you automatically control the situation. Others may rage, but you do not. Others may shout, but you remain unshaken. And when you stand in that kind of stillness, people notice. They recognize who truly holds the power in the room. Here is the lesson of the Stoic habit. When you master your voice, you master your presence. And when you master your presence, you elevate your very being. Let others waste their energy in noise. Your strength is in restraint. Your calmness is your sword. And your silence will make the loudest statement of all. Part 2. The way you speak says more about you than it does about me. Have you ever been mocked, ridiculed, or cut down with sarcasm so sharp it felt like a blade? Most people, when attacked, strike back. They mirror the insult. They let anger dictate their reply. But when you do that, you have already surrendered control. You let the other person set the tone. The Stoic way is different. Instead of fighting venom with venom, you hold up a mirror. And in that mirror, the aggressor sees themselves. The phrase is simple, yet devastating in its clarity. The way you speak says more about you than it does about me. Notice what happens when you say this. You don't insult them. You don't raise your voice. You simply reflect. And reflection is powerful because most people never stop to hear themselves. But when you calmly put their words back in front of them, the weight of their own disrespect begins to sink in. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." That is exactly what this response does. It refuses to imitate. It refuses to descend. It elevates you while forcing the other to confront their own behavior. Think of how often this plays out in daily life. A coworker makes a cutting remark in front of the team. You could lash out, but you choose this phrase instead. And suddenly the spotlight shifts. The insult is no longer about you. It is about the character of the one who delivered it. Or consider an online exchange. Someone posts a cruel comment. You respond, not with fire, but with a mirror. The way you speak says more about you than it does about me. What can they say to that? Every word they type only digs their own hole deeper. This is not weakness. This is psychological strength. This is choosing dignity over pettiness. And when others see you remain calm, they cannot help but respect it. Here is the Stoic habit lesson. Do not let someone else's bitterness become your reflection. Let your response reveal your strength, and their words reveal only themselves. Part 3. Let's talk when we can do it respectfully. Not every conversation deserves your presence. Some are not conversations at all. They are disguised battles. The other person interrupts, talks over you, raises their voice, and pushes their truth as if it were the only truth. Most people stay in the fight. They defend, explain, and shout louder, believing that somehow they will be heard. But in Stoicism, we are taught something different. Respect is the foundation of dialogue, and when respect is absent, silence is often the higher path. That is why this response carries so much weight. Let's talk when we can do it respectfully. You are not running away. You are not avoiding the issue. You are setting a higher standard. You are saying, I will not engage in chaos. If you want my presence, it must be on the ground of respect. Imagine you are speaking with a colleague. Every time you begin a sentence, they cut you off. They dismiss your points before you finish. Tension rises. Instead of escalating, you take a breath and calmly say, let's talk when we can do it respectfully. In that instant, the entire dynamic changes. It is no longer about who is right or wrong. It is about the conditions for dialogue. Epictetus reminded us, you cannot control what others do, but you can control what you accept. And by saying this phrase, you make it crystal clear what you will accept and what you won't. Here is the beauty. When someone refuses to meet you at the level of respect, they lose the privilege of speaking with you. And when they realize that, silence often follows. The Stoic habit lesson is simple. Never argue in the mud. Set the terms. Set the boundaries. And only then will your voice carry true weight. Respect is not begged for. It is required. And when you require it, others must rise to meet it, or fall silent in its absence. Part 4. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. There comes a point in some discussions where words lose all meaning. The other person isn't listening. They don't care about truth or understanding. They only care about winning, even if it means twisting logic, throwing insults, or draining your energy until nothing is left. This is when Stoicism gives you a shield, a simple phrase. I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. It is clear, it is firm, and it carries more power than shouting ever could. Imagine this. You're speaking with someone who keeps provoking you. Every comment drips with sarcasm. Every word is meant to sting. Your patience is slipping. Most people would snap. They'd explode and regret it later. But you take a deep breath. You look them in the eye and calmly say, I'd prefer not to continue this conversation. In that moment, you cut off the poison at its root. You reclaim your control. You show that your peace is worth more than the last word. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, choose not to be harmed, and you will not feel harmed. This phrase is the teaching in action. You are choosing. Choosing not to give your power away. Choosing not to let another person dictate your emotional state. Think of how powerful that island. You don't storm out. You don't slam doors. You simply close the door of your presence with dignity. And here's the paradox. When you end the conversation with calm authority, others begin to respect you more. They see that you are not afraid of silence. You are not desperate to be heard. You value your energy too much to waste it. The Stoic habit lesson is this: walking away is not weakness. It is wisdom. Sometimes the greatest act of strength is knowing when to stop speaking. Let them rage. Let them demand the last word. You have already won, because you chose peace over noise. Part 5. That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. Not every disagreement comes from an enemy. Sometimes it comes from the people closest to you. Friends, colleagues, even family, who, with the best of intentions, try to impose their beliefs on you. They tell you what career you should choose. They insist on what success must look like. They argue that their way is the only way. And in those moments, you may feel pressured to stay silent, or worse, to surrender your own judgment, just to keep the peace. But Stoicism teaches a different path, a path of calm independence. And it can be expressed in one sentence: that's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it. Notice how powerful this island. You are not dismissing them. You are not insulting them. You are recognizing their right to think, while firmly defending your right to think for yourself. Seneca once warned, "To be a slave to the opinion of others is the worst of all prisons." This phrase is the key to escape that prison. It is a way of saying, I hear you, I value you, but my mind remains my own. Imagine your friend insists you join a risky venture you don't believe in. Instead of arguing point by point, you calmly reply, "That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it." The conversation ends with clarity, not with hostility. Or picture a family dinner where relatives pressure you about a life choice. This phrase draws a clear boundary, polite but unmovable. Here is the Stoic habit lesson. True freedom is not just external. It is the freedom to think independently, to hold your values without begging for approval. And when others realize they cannot sway you, something changes. They may not agree with you, but they will respect you. Because the one who cannot be pressured is the one who truly commands respect. Conclusion. Remember these 5 responses. They are not weapons to crush others, but shields to protect your dignity, your calm, and your presence. Stoicism reminds us that true power is never in controlling others. It is in mastering ourselves. And when you master your response, you don't just silence the noise. You command respect without ever raising your voice. Which of these 5 will you try first? Share it in the comments. I read every one. And if you seek wisdom and strength each week, consider subscribing to join this journey with me. Comment to commit. I choose calm.